get right into the lesson, as we discussed. But you know, thinking about it, it might be a better idea if you would just tell these people who don't know the man Jerome Callet, how in the world did you even get started with the embouchure thing in the first place?
The way I got started, Joe, was I had no embouchure as a child, and even up to age 30, I couldn't play a high C. So it always intrigued me, since I was a machinist and I was interested in the mechanical part of trumpet playing, to find out why a person failed as a trumpet player. And most of the people fail on trumpet because of the embouchure. And so my research into embouchure led me into making mouthpieces and eventually making trumpets. But the first problem I had to solve was my own embouchure. And what I found out is that none of the teachers and none of the books were dealing with what actually went on with the lips. And the lips are the key to everything. If you learn how to use your lips and facial muscles correctly, you can improve dramatically. As you saw today, we gave Larry Skinner, a very fine player from Oklahoma City, who was former leader of the Navy Commodore's jazz band, a lesson. Even though he played with Harry James, who had the greatest embouchure in the world, he didn't really know how to watch Harry James's lips and find out and imitate what James was doing. Now, through my new video and book, the player can find out exactly what went on with these great players and how they can improve their embouchure. Let's start with the nice, easy scales. Very relaxed in the corners, and bring the lower lip up. Now there's too much tension. It should be much more relaxed, like a non-playing embouchure as far as the sides and the corners. And you can, from the lip being out, you can easily bring it in. Don't worry about the tension that you're going to need. You'll get it as you pull it up. I'll help you. Feel the difference?
Took more air.
Exactly. You must get your full air. See, in other words, you're working hard, but your muscle is going in the wrong direction. It's going too much this way, and it's got to go this way. So there's actually less movement with the right embouchure. Okay, let's try it. F major. See, that was easier. Okay, even more relaxation. Think you don't even know how to play the trumpet, you're just going to tighten that lower lip up. Up against the teeth and inward.
Taking everything I've got.
Okay, that's what we want. Now, you'll see that as big a man as John is, you need more and more wind power to play the super chops way. The more air we can use in each simple exercise, the stronger player we become. And that's what the final result is the use of the air and the resistance to the air. This is what really makes us better players. If we don't resist the air, then the air is going to go through too easily, and we won't run out of air, like the old way of playing, like you did previously and I did. So what we want is more resistance. So we set the resistance up, not in the corners, but in the center, and we blow harder. Now let's try the B-flat scale. Don't worry about high notes. Just worry about use of the air and resistance to it. That's it. Try it again. Let's see if we can get more openness to the sound. Okay. That feel a little better?
More air.
Exactly. The more you feel winded, now this is what discourages many professionals. They can already play the high notes. And so when I begin to make them play with the correct embouchure, they feel they're running out of wind and they're getting weaker when they're actually getting stronger. It's similar to doing push-ups. When you do the push-ups correctly, you're very tired. You can't do as many. But that's the proper way to exercise. And in playing the trumpet, we must exercise, because trumpet is the hardest physical instrument. And that's what we want to achieve. Now let's do this slur. Nice and easy. See how that comes out. Okay, let's do it easier. Okay, try again. Now the problem is the stretch. See, you didn't do it as much on the scale. It's the bigger intervals. So let's take one where we don't read. Let's just do this interval. Number 6 exercise. Now think of up. Okay? Up and down. Like raising and lowering a window. Yet.
More in the center here going up.
Center going up. All right. See, if we look at the picture, see, it's all in the center. That's the main line. That's it. Now you're getting it. Now let's do the next one. Up to the. Well, in fact, do the first one. G. Observe my lips and how it's going. That's the grip that prevents me to play up to the highest note. All right? Now, do the space sing. Over and over. Let's do this slur. Da-dee-da-dee-da-dee-da, with complete relaxation. It was a little too choked. More relaxation. One movement here. See the difference? Okay. More relaxation. Is 4 times what you need.
Tension here or?
No, here. It's 4 times. See, when you tense here, you are not able to tense properly here. That's why I have to work so hard. Let's go back to the beginning. Completely lose all tension, even if you miss the notes. We don't care. Now blow harder. Use more air and less lip. Immediately you feel more air rushing through the instrument. Good. Pitch up, you gotta grip higher, harder. See, it's my lip coming up that's producing that note. Alright, let's try it again. Da-dee-da-dee-da-dee-da-dee-dum. Work on some tonguing. Now I want you to practice the spit buzz that we initially taught. Try it now. Now breathe. your lips more together in the center. A higher rate. Okay, I'll try it in the horn. Okay. You're working too hard. There's too much strain in the face. Try again. Very relaxed. Okay, try again. See the difference? Next one. Next one. What was the feeling like?
As you were manipulating it down and in, then I felt the sound open up.
Okay. Now what that was doing, that was thickening up the centers of your lips. And that's what you have to do. Try it yourself, Archie. That's a keynote, if you can get that free. Okay, the high C the same way. Okay, that's going to come. Okay, that'll be wide open. Now let's start from the low note. Now we have to learn to play the low note with complete relaxation. Turn the lower lip out, and then bring it up as you play. Send it out. It's resonating. Now let's try the D. More relaxation. Good. Now let's try a double octave scale. We'll see the high C. Double octave scales. The most important thing, John, is very relaxed on the low note. And turn the lower lip out on the low C and below. And then suddenly bring it in, and then the whole lip rises and comes up over the top teeth without corner tension. Could be better. Now, the note that was the worst was the low C.
I didn't have any air left. You
No,
mean
no.
the first one?
First one.
Okay.
The first note is very important. Okay, put your hand up and I'll help you. That's it. When you get down to the low C, turn the lip out and tilt the bell slightly up, and that will keep the lip that was vibrating in the low position. Okay. Try it again. That's it. See how free it is? It's got to be that free. Let's try the D scale. Now don't worry about the high note. Just worry about your approach and the use of the lips. Very relaxed. You can also stop as you're running out of breath anytime you wish. In fact, don't run out of air. Always have a generous supply of air. If you have to breathe every bar, that's fine. Or every 3 notes. We don't really penalize anyone for it. Now let's try the bell-like attacks. Really strike them. And a nice, open, clear sound. Now, the attack was no good because the tone was not centered, was not focused. Let's be right down the center. Let's try it. Don't overblow. Just strike it hard and relax the lip. Okay, play.
I know.
A lot of air.
But the difficulty is only in coming up with more air. So breathe more often. Now I'm going to turn briefly and allude to the super chops. John, you can watch this with me. The difference in the three embouchures is very distinct. The stretch or smile person pulls his lips to the corners. Okay? Now, this is what's happening with your embouchure yet. Not so much on the top lip, but it's happening on the bottom lip. The chin is pulling down a little too much. It's not really coming up enough. Exactly. And it's going to the sides. All right? Now, this is what we want, the correct action in super chops. A decided push here, and here, and the top coming down. That's what I'm doing to correct it. Now, you'll notice there's three distinct positions here. The low register is fine with yours. See that? But then when you go into the middle and then to the high, you're not able to bring it straight up. That's it. You're able to do it without the mouthpiece. Now, on this illustration of the super chop, you can see just how it's coming up. There's one more I want to show you. This is the cross section. Now in the cross section you'll notice the teeth. See that? The bottom lip can come high up over the top teeth. It will not interfere with vibration. Okay? Now let's play an arpeggio from low C up to high C. Okay. Now as you play it, concentrate on the movement of the chin and the lower lip coming up over the top teeth. It started off right, but then you went to the side.
About where in the middle register?
About E and G in the step. Now, if I force my hands to bring you in this way, that interferes, but I'm going to try. Feel the difference? Interferes, but I'm going to try. Okay. Start on the low C. Very relaxed. Feel better?
Yeah.
Okay. High D scale. Now, in this, you're going to have to bring up more in the bottom. Okay. Similar to what we see here. See this? Well, the lip goes up. Chin. Okay. D scale, I'll help it. I'll help you. Okay, you close your teeth.
Yeah.
Don't close your teeth, just bring your lip up without closing the teeth. The lip needs maximum air, as much air as it can get. Try the D again. A little skipping up on the note is fine. Now do the F scale. Same way. Don't be afraid of it being high. Just think of a little more wind and more grip, upward grip of the lip. Okay? Always in the right direction. Okay? more strength, you'll be able to hold it louder and higher.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do the tongue. Play the double octave scales, just like you do in the waltz. E major scale. Low to high. Outward lip, inward lip. F scale. Now let's start doing the chromatics. I'm trying to get maximum sound and maximum grip. Okay, start on number 14. Here, and your lips were too spread apart. Now, you start on 18, bring your lip more together, like this. Okay? See the difference?
Yeah.
That has to be easier. Next one. 19. My next student, his name is Ralph Salamoni, and Ralph has studied my embouchure for several years now. Ralph, start by playing this exercise, number 13. I'll play here. Corners are too tight. Try to loosen your mouth, more loose, so that you can bring more up. No tension at all. relaxation and more grip upwards. Try this higher lip. Now play. Now the problem, Ralph, is right here as we see. The lip is going too much to the side. It's tensing. And this acts to flatten down the chin, where we want to bring the chin muscle up and grip. Okay? This is the illustration of what we want. We want this type of grip. See that? When the chin comes up, this muscle goes this way. Okay? I'll try that exercise number 14 up an octave again. You have much more relaxation. All right, now let's try number 37 in the regular range. Now play. There wasn't enough air used. Set yourself. Relax your shoulders. Okay, that felt easier? All right. Let's do it up an octave. Let's try the next one, as is, and up an octave. Up an octave. As you increase the air, reduce the arm pressure a little. It's a little too heavy on the arm pressure. All right, let's try number 39.
Regular octave?
Regular octave first. Now play. Okay, let's try the slur. Try number 59. Now play. Better. Don't know?
Yeah.
Let's do the next one. Even more relaxation. The idea, Ralph, is to get this thing where it's almost like you're not playing, completely loose, and just bring this up. The grip of the lower lip coming against the top teeth will hold the embouchure in place. Okay, 16. Now play.
My name is Nipper Murphy. I'm 41 years old, and I met Jerry Callet about 3 years ago in Chicago. At the time I was playing with a big band every Monday night, and the leader of the big band was a trumpet player called Buddy Childers. And he was a very good friend of mine, and we talked a lot, and he told me a lot of personal things. He told me that, you know, I could always be a good trumpet player, but if I really wanted to be a really excellent trumpet player, I'd have to make a switch. I'd have to change. I said, well, change what? And he said, change your embouchure. And that's kind of frightening to everybody. But at that point in time, I was ready to do anything because I was very, very discouraged with the way I was playing. Though I guess I sounded pretty good or I wouldn't be playing on the band, you know. At one point in time, I would play very down on the lip. I used to play like this, like with the rim of the mouthpiece on the red, and a lot on the bottom lip. And that worked good. You could get high notes and everything. And I worked many big bands, different big bands for years, you know, and I played like that. And after a while, that didn't work, you know. It stopped working. And then I moved it up, but then I went into a stretch. And Childers told me, he said, you know, I don't know how to tell you to do it, but you know, there are other people around, and we were talking, and there was a convention in town, and we talked about Jerry, and Jerry had this embouchure thing going, and so it was concluded that I should go down and talk to Jerry, and I drove down, and all my life I was raised to be superstitious because my whole family was superstitious, and the only parking space I could find that day was in number 13. And I thought, well, it's either going to be my lucky number or it's going to be a disaster. So I parked in number 13, and I went over there, and here's Jerry blowing these double C's and G's above double C and all this stuff, and bugging the people in the booths next to him. And I went up to him, and I just told him my situation. I said, I want to get better, but I really don't know how. And he said, well, he said, meet me at such a time, and we'll go up to my room. So I did so, and we went up to his hotel room. And after just a few little things, I noticed from playing from a G to a high C, everything was getting bigger. And I locked into it immediately. And then, of course, I took Jerry to the airport, and he flew back to New York. And I then drove up to Upper Michigan, and I was afraid I'd lose it, so I'd wake up every couple hours and start playing the horn, you know, because I really didn't know what in the world I was doing. But it was working. And sure enough, before I knew it, I lost it. Then I couldn't go back to my old method. That didn't work. Nothing worked, you know. And I talked to Childers about that, and he said, well, I was in the same predicament. He said, but you'll get through it. Don't worry about it. So I must have been on the phone long distance with Jerome for I don't know how long, you know, every day. And then he was going to be in Columbus, Ohio. And I drove from Chicago to Columbus. And I remember sitting in a chair in a vacant meeting room off from where they had their booths and everything. And I was trying to get a buzz on a mouthpiece. I couldn't even do that at that point. And then when they closed the booths, we went over to my motel, and I think we sat on the bed there and worked on trumpets for maybe 2.5 hours. And then we went out to eat, and I said goodbye, and I slept, and then I got up early and took off for Chicago again, and I just practiced on a mouthpiece and on the trumpet. And everything started coming together. I've learned an awful lot. I took everything that Jerry said as gospel because it improved my situation. Things that I thought would work were completely opposite. I was always told to tongue behind the back of the front teeth. You know, 2-2-2. Ta-da-ga-ta-da-ga-ta-da-ga-ta-da for triple tongue and all that stuff. And Jerry says, like, tongue through the teeth, you know, so your tongue's hitting the lips. And I noticed when I was playing with Bill Chase, for instance, I'd watch him grab a breath, and the corners would come up, and you could see that tongue lolling there. And he was tonguing right through his lips. And I said, boy, he's doing that wrong. Unfortunately, I didn't know better at that time, and he was doing it right. And other players that I dealt with, Danny Barber in Chicago, I'd watch him very closely, and he would do the same thing. And I learned a lot, an awful lot from Jerry. And now when I play trumpet, I'm constantly thinking of what I'm doing, where my lip is, trying to bring the chin up as I ascend into this position, where my tongue is, trying to keep my top lip flat against the teeth, not letting go, so if you let it go, it's going to fly into the mouthpiece and stop it up because I play a small mouthpiece. I used to play all the time on the mouthpiece. Boy, I'd just like buzz like crazy, and I never do that anymore. He told me not to, and I don't. I just stick the mouthpiece in the horn and play it. I never buzz on a mouthpiece. And also, I was told by another guy, I can't remember, but he told me, he said, he used to play with a whole bunch of guys who could buzz their lips, you know, and play all sorts of tunes. He says, and every one of them was a mediocre trumpet player. Studying with Jerome for about 3 years, I guess, long distance, and meeting several times, many times together. I now have a focus on what I want to achieve, and I'm still working at that. I suppose I'll be working at it for the rest of my life, but at least now I know where I want to go, and I know I'm not going to have any really bad days because now I know exactly what I'm doing, and if I don't feel right, I know exactly how to correct it.
Nippers, as I was showing you yesterday on the lesson, you need to bring your lower lip right on the sides alongside the mouthpiece in and firm this up more as you go up in range, thinking this way. Try that with your mouth. That's it. Firming this area here. That's it.
Yeah, but doing it with the mouth and doing it with the mouthpiece on your chops is two different things.
That's right. Because what happens...
And I can do this all day, but when I've got the thing jammed in my mouth, it's a different story.
The secret is to go very slowly and do easy exercises. Let's try number 37.
I have to bring that closer.
Now, as you do it, I'm going to lift this lip muscle up. All
This is
right?
going to be difficult, you know that.
Go ahead. Try not to pinch the tone. Blow freer, harder, and close up more. In other words, you need more resistance.
Oh, you want me to blow against the lips while they're closed?
Exactly.
Okay.
Close the lips up by bringing this lower lip up and tucking in.
That takes a lot of air.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The more air it takes, the more correct you're playing.
Okay.
That's the fastest way to learn super chops. Super chops.
Hi, my name's Joe Parada, and I'm the marketing arm of the Callet organization. Now, you're not going to get a sales pitch because what you're going to see in a few minutes is all the sales pitch that the Callet trumpet and mouthpiece would ever need. But let me tell you a little bit about what just happened. What you saw were actually people taking lessons, okay? We tried, of course, to do it as in an unrehearsed manner as possible. And the last person you saw was a fellow named Nipper Murphy, who is one of the best jazzmen you'll ever hear, or maybe I should say was one of the best jazzmen you'll ever hear, because unfortunately Nipper passed away a couple of weeks ago. If there's any consolation in what happened, it's that we've captured him forever on tape and film so that you can see a real great performer play on a Callet trumpet. After you see Nipper, you're going to see another great player, formerly a principal player with the Paris Opera, and now principal player with the Charleston Symphony, and that's Dominic Duras. And he will be performing for you on the Callet C trumpet and the B-flat trumpet, some classical pieces which I'm sure you'll recognize. So without any other words from the marketing arm, let's get right into it.
First thing I would like to say is to thank Jerome Callet for the wonderful trumpets he makes. I've been introduced to the super large bore trumpets about a little over a year ago now, and I just think they're great for several reasons. It's easier, the freedom of blow is much better than the medium large B-flat trumpet I'd played before, and even the large C trumpet I had before is not as easy as the large C, the super large C that Jerome builds. A few things about this: the richness and the darkness in the sound without loss of timbre, that's very important. And when I play like a soft dynamic, I will keep the timbre, whereas the trumpets I would play before would get dark, but at the same time would lose the timbre, would create some kind of dullness in the tone. And then the response, of course, in the loud dynamics and all that with Jerome's trumpet is very exceptional, and I really want to thank him for helping us musicians in playing out the art of, helping us with the art of playing the trumpet. Another thing too is the line of mouthpieces he's made for me make me play much easier and comfortable on the horns. And of course, those mouthpieces are very customized for my purposes, but they function very well between what I'm doing and the horn, the way the horn responds.